Welcome to One on One with Jane. I'm your host, and today I have Lewis on my show. He's actually an author, and he's been writing for several years now. So, what actually got you into writing a book?
Well, what got me into writing a book was that I've always had a lifelong love of writing, but also in this case, the book I've written is called The Tales I Grew Up With the Grandparents. Here, can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was that I wanted to preserve a piece of family history for all time. So what happened was that I went to all four of my grandparents and I got them to tell me the old stories that they used to tell me when I was growing up. That's why I named the book Tales I Grew Up With. I got a story about my grandmother who used to work for MGM Studios. She grew up with Mickey Rooney, like back when he was a boy. She got to see Casablanca being made. It was, and she danced for the King and Queen of England. She met with Louis B. Mayer of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. And I had a grandfather who came from Italy and not knowing a word of English. He built himself up a grocery store from the ground up, had 6 children, and one day, when he was preparing to go back to Italy to visit his family in Italy, his store burnt down and he had to rebuild it from the ground up. Like a lot of very treasured stories close to our family's heart. None of my grandparents are with us any longer, sadly, but it's we have a little piece of them that have been kept alive all this time, and I'm so happy to have done this, and I'm so happy to be able to pass this along to future generations in my family, and it's just been a great experience, and I'm glad to be able to talk about it.
I actually keep thinking, did you actually videotape them or just take notes?
I taped them. I used a tape recorder, believe it or not.
Okay. Oh, that's what we used to do a long time ago, growing up. So, were they intrigued and stuff that you're asking them questions? Were they happy that you're asking them questions?
Absolutely. They were just happy to help me out with this. I think that I think it was a great experience for them as well. Like just be like, and it was just fun being able to get a little closer to them and to just do this for them. They were all such great human beings, and I'm proud to have come from them.
Yeah, you know why? Because there was a cousin of mine. She was like 90-something years old, and she lived around the corner. And one time I asked her a lot of questions. I got a big headache afterwards because it's too much thinking. And I wanted to do a family history with her. She just passed away, I heard, about a year ago. And I never got a chance to meet with her to take ideas. And she knew a lot about my family history. And I was going to make a documentary about it, and I never did. And I know her sister, but she moved out to New York. So not a lot of people live in Michigan anymore. How long did it take you to write it?
About, I think it could have been a year and a half or something like that. Time well spent.
Did you set aside, excuse me, did you set aside like 1 to 2 hours a day or longer to write, or how long?
Longer. It takes a while. First you have to, like in the case of this book, first you have to write it out, then you have to check and double check again for accuracy, and you have to run it past the grandparents themselves, and to see if there was anything you missed. Sometimes they remember a detail that they didn't originally, and you add it in, or there's just that kind of thing.
Yeah, because my grandfather a long time ago, he was a very good storyteller, and we used to always listen to what he was saying. The other one passed away when I was only 2, so I don't know. I only remember the candy he used to give us. That's it. I remember when I was 2. Do you have any writers in your family?
I do have my father's a writer. Like but it's not quite the same. Like he writes like medical articles. Like he's a very distinguished urologist, one of the best in his fields, and he's written a whole lot of medical journals and stuff like that.
Okay. What about your mom? Is she a writer?
Unfortunately, no, not at all, not at all. Uh, Not at all. Sorry.
I know a long time ago your brother was into animation. Is he still doing that?
He's doing something kind of similar. Like he has like a page where, like a YouTube channel where he does like funny skit comedy.
Oh,
Well,
no way.
of a sort, Like it's called the With Voices Project, and he does like he takes video games and it's like he adds like a funny soundtrack to it, and I participate in it.
I bet you he probably uses it's called Discord, right? He probably uses that because it's a thing.
Oh, actually, he does. He does use Discord.
I don't know how to use that. I tried to use it. So, what are your next steps?
Well, my next steps for right now is that I've got this other project that I'm working on. I can't reveal any details because I've signed a non-disclosure agreement, but I'm working on developing that, and we'll see what happens with it, and hopefully things go well. I'm also working on editing a lot of scripts and just making contacts and spreading out and discovering things and just having fun. I also do some acting when I get the chance.
I know you did a good job in taking crazy chances.
It was quite an experience taking crazy chances.
Remember what happened when he got shot? You fell asleep, and I was like, "What happened to him? What happened?" I was thinking about it, and you had a good sleep after that.
Well, I was dead.
I know, that's what I was thinking. What do you really like about writing?
What do I love about writing? I love making stories. I love being able to build worlds, and I love being able to bring ideas that no one else has ever thought of before. I love playing with words and just coming up with sentences that no one else has strung together before. I love inspiring other people. I love making them think. I love inspiring new emotions. It's a thrill like no other.
I know, the thing is, with me as a writer, I spend more time writing than reading, and I only spend time reading when I'm doing research. Is that what you do too, or do you spend time reading too?
Oh, I have to spend time reading too. Like a good writer reads, just like a good director. I'm sure that you would agree. Like is always watching movies to study other people's technique, to study what can go wrong. You keep it fresh. Like you always have to get new material. You never know what can inspire you.
And you're right. You know why? Because I forced myself to watch the show. It was a musical, and then when I forced myself to watch the show, then it hit me because one scene made me think of how I want to film my scene, and then I was like, oh, I never really spend time watching TV, and I should force myself to watch it because I have a hard time relaxing. So that kind of inspired me for a scene for my next project, scene 5. It's like a crazy scene. So, thanks a lot for being on One-on-One with Jane.
My pleasure, my pleasure.